Indra. Mandalam 1, Suktam 7. Rishi Madhuchandas Vaishwamitra. Devata Indra. Chandas Gayatri. Mandalam 1, Suktam 7. Rik 1.
इन्द्रनिर्घासिनो बृहदिन्द्रवर्केभिरक्किनाः इन्द्रम् वाणीरनूषता.
Chanters multitude to Indra, with hymns of truth to Indra. Worshippers verily extolled eloquence to Indra. The applause and appreciation of truth and the calls of mortals. The setting described in this verse is that of singers, chanters, worshippers, and the likes, fully in the know of the undisputable role of the master regulator, Indra, at all levels of existence, and his importance to the preservation of life, extol him in every manner possible, all the time. In a way, they live knowledge. Since the entire gamut of extolling activities mentioned are in the human realm, it can be supposed that people have been doing this across history and will continue to for always. The language, mores, and specifics may differ according to the era that they live in, but the intent of acknowledgement and the need for a grateful requital to the one who qualifies as the greatest of altruists does not. Perhaps other life forms too indulge in this mindful reciprocity in their own way. Analyzing patterns in nature to understand its dynamics is essentially an intellectual exercise, with one's own environment being the laboratory where experiments occur on their own every moment. Every functional brain has this capacity according to the limitations of its specific needs for the business of living. Technology, on the other hand, is a different ballgame altogether, one that involves activities other than thoughts and hence repercussions. Extolling, worshipping, and singing praises is then a recounting of our analysis of our environment. The screech of a cricket, the chirp of a finch, the call of a cuckoo, the grunt of a boar, the purr of a cat, the roar of a lion, the trumpet of an elephant, or a Vedic hymn rendered by a human, are all such expressions of acknowledgement of nature and its creator. They are all the study and the recountals of the truth. Mandalam 1, Suktam 7, Rik 2.
इन्द्रयद्धर्यो स च संविश्रावचोयुजा इन्द्रो वज्रीः
Verily well blended together with a pair of steeds, Indra, verily yoked by speech, Indra, golden one, wielder of the thunderbolt. Descriptive truths and Indra's epithets. To know about, understand, and express a fact is being truthful, as highlighted in the previous verse. This one metaphorically states that the faculties of vision and hearing, being the inputs to our brain, as well as that of personified Indras, represented by his pair of steeds, are yoked and blended together for expression by speech or action, resulting in epithets to be conferred upon Indra to acknowledge his traits that are construed to be some of the laws that govern cosmic phenomena. The appellation Indra itself is one that translates to the one who regulates human senses or Indriyas, or the senses of every object in creation. The epithet Golden One is where Indra is corresponded to the sun, who too is an administrator and regulator. The atmospheric functions assigned to Indra and Indra as the sun result in the actuality of lightning and thunder, which being dramatically fearful is mentioned to be Indra's weapon, resulting in the epithet wielder of the thunderbolt. Mandalam 1, Suktam 7, Rik 3.
इन्द्रो दीर्घयचक्षसा सूर्यम् रोहयद्दिवि दिगोभिरद्रीमैरयत्.
Indra raised the sun into heaven, verily for far vision, caused to move asunder a mountain with cows. Advantage of a fractal universe. Most words in most languages, and particularly in Sanskritam, have many contextual meanings, some according to evident functionalities and others with a little stretched imagination. Commentators translating a Sanskritam text pursue their endeavors according to their cultural backgrounds, their abilities, and world views. None of these translations and commentaries can be deemed to be incorrect when viewed within the ambit of the assumptive parameters of their respective authors. Two such contentious words in this mantra are go and adri. The first denotes both cattle and earth, while the second indicates a mountain or the sun, among other meanings. If the second meaning in both instances were to be considered to elaborate the implication of the mantra, then it leads to a particular visualization of the solar system. Its contextual import under this set of assumptive parameters being, for a stable and long-standing structure, the regulatory system positions the sun and makes to move the earth, meaning all planets, separately opposite to the sun. A host of facts are embedded in this visualization, from gravity to angular momentum to centrifugal and centripetal forces to a solar-centric view of the planetary system. In short, more metaphoric truths. A little more stressed kind of elaboration can be that light from the sun illuminates repositories of truth represented by cows, which makes mountain-like misconceptions in our minds to be moved asunder. This is the advantage of a fractal universe. One statement can address many phenomenalities simultaneously. The absurd ones recuse themselves from being considered, leaving the true ones to stand and shine bright. Mandalam 1, Suktam 7, Rik 4.
इन्द्रवाजेषु नोपसहस्रप्रधनेषु च उग्रभुग्राभिरुचिभिः
Indra, do favor to us in thousandfold abundance in our battles formidable and with formidable assistances. Compulsions of an unbiased Indra. The objective of this verse appears to be that of a reiterative emphasis upon notions explained in earlier verses, although the words used in this replication are different and provide the expression with a slightly different flavor. A request to Indra it is to help earthlings with potent assistances in their daily battle for survival. Another way of looking at the import of this verse would be in terms of the odds of survivability of humans from the stage of being a fertilized ovum to becoming a 100-year-old adult. The expression, a thousandfold, appears to be a very large random measure, but a rough calculation of survivability odds will show it is actually not. The odds of a fertilized human ovum surviving until birth is about 10%. The survivability odds of a just-born child to live up to be 100 years old, purely on the basis of body functionality issues, is about 20%. If one were to also consider external life-terminating factors like wars, accidents, non-war violences, large-scale disease outbreaks, natural disasters, etc., the odds are further halved. This viewpoint would allude to the possibility of the mantra referring to a stark fact of life, disguised as an invocation. Though Indra has no personal biases, the laws of dharma and karma curtail his naturally bounteous nature and makes him provide assistances befittingly, determining who dies at childbirth and who lives to be 100. Mandalam 1, Suktam 7, Rik 5.
इन्द्रम् वयम् महाधनयिन्द्रमर्भे हवामहे युजम् वृत्रेषु वज्रिणम्.
We call upon Indra in great wealth, Indra in penury, the ally in darkness, wielder of the thunderbolt. Perception shapes the purpose of existence. This is another verse in the series of disguised invocations, where the hierarchies of existence and the attributes of actions and entities at all of its levels are acknowledged. So are the limiting paradigms within which mortals operate. The interdependence between all levels are recognized as well. These laudatory hymns also seem to constantly dwell and emphasize upon the fact that for sustenance there is this need for order, which comes from abiding by natural laws, from recognizing and respecting hierarchies, from being committed and responsible to one's current station in life. At the same time, it also underscores the fact that Indra resides everywhere, in the supposed high and mighty and the presumed puny and weak, or the apparently essential and the allegedly inconsequential, in the averred humongous hulks and in the purported minuscule midgets. They all have a purpose to be, have their own darkness to confront, their own version of Indra to protect, aid, and guide them in their never ending battles for survival. And all of them have an equally important role to play in keeping the script of existence operational. It is quite possible that during susceptible moments one may find life and existence to be purposeless, but the wonderment at the sheer complexity and magnitude of this enterprise called existence that pervades our thoughts at other times is compensation enough to enjoy being in it, regardless of it being apparently purposeless. Mandalam 1, Suktam 7, Rik 6.
स नो मृगन्नमुम् चरुम् सत्रादावन्नपावृधि अस्मभ्यमप्रजिष्कुदः.
He for us, bull, that cloud, constant giver, do open for us, unchallenged. disciplined living, a way to repay our debts to nature. This is the spirit of Vedic meteorology, which is both an enthusiastic and scholastic exploration and an altruistic, non exploitative intervention. In short, both a robust theory and a competent practice. Its performance is considered a debt to be repaid to nature as a whole for its welfare. That will include ourselves only as a corollary, and if necessarily applicable in the larger scheme of things. This approach to living is why this practice is eulogized as a sacrifice and its performers venerable. In modern parlance, this can be called the greenest of technologies that precludes personal aggrandizement. Nature, herded by Indra, is indeed a constant giver. The mere circumstance of our being alive at this instant is a testimony to this truth. We strive only to nudge a set process towards a marginally altered outcome in a manner that neither disrupts the process nor wrests what is due to others. Vedic thought affirms and asserts that immortals follow this manner of sentiment when executing their respective mandates, and exhorts mortals to have a similar spirited approach to all their activities as well. Mandalam 1, Suktam 7, Rik 7.
तुञ्जेतुञ्जेयवुत्तरे स्तोमा इन्द्रस्य वज्रिणाः न विविन्धे अस्य सुष्ठुतिम्.
In impulse after impulse, whatever upward soma libations of this manner may be offered for the thunderbolt wielder, Indra, not fitting laudation. Consciousness, the negator of distinctions. Nature, of which Indra is the administrator, is so impeccable, flawless, and consummate in its dealings that no laudation is adequate to acknowledge its wonderful ways. Indra, personified, is seen as the one who sacrifices himself for the welfare of all creation, has no biases of any kind, is unquestionably just in all his activities, is both law abider and law dispenser. All that is attributable to him from the perspective of the mundane realm and the hymns that are sung in his praise do not match his immense potential or absoluteness. He is what we think he is, and much more. That is beyond mortal ken. The challenge then is to know him in his entirety, which is not possible merely by intellect, but only by being conscious of him. And once conscious of him, the need to describe him fades away. Description is only a construct of the intellect and meant to communicate a notion that is abstract to another. When there is no other, being conscious of Indra and his creator, who has created us as well, melts that distinction between one and the other, between the self and the environment, between heaven, hell, and our current habitation, to nothingness. Then, what is it that remains to be described, and to whom? Mandalam 1, Suktam 7, Rik 8.
वृषायूथे भवंसगः कृष्टीरीयर्चोजसा ईशानो अप्रजिष्कुतः.
Like a siring bull to herds, the unchallenged ruler goes with vitality to learned peoples. Existence has no redundancies. The relationship of the regulative mechanism personified as Indra and its dependents, which includes all life forms, is described in this verse. The metaphor of a bull and its herd is mentioned primarily to highlight the protective propensity of Earth's atmosphere. A little deliberation would reveal that this analogy may be applied to any regulatory system. Indra, the unchallenged, organizes and supervises the protective requirements of Earth's surface and its inhabitants, ranging from warding off destructive solar winds to regulating temperatures in a manner beneficial to life forms to controlling the composition of air that can sustain life. The fact that solar winds are produced by another avatar of Indra, the sun, does not mean that the two Indras work at cross purposes. Considering the precision and purpose with which everything works in nature, it will be impossible for a process or the aftermath of one to exist in redundancy or in a non-prepensed state. Harmony and equilibrium are the buzzwords of nature. Even apparent disharmony only leads towards harmony, as do the synergies between the various Indras across different levels and across all functional systems. This viewpoint is again a construct of the intellect based on details, their categorization, and upon the understanding that if the universal system is regulated and stable, so should be every subsystem within it. True harmony is being conscious at once of the entire universe, an ideal that is proclaimed as the purpose of life. That does not make intellectual inquiry redundant. It is a stepping stone to the ultimate quest. As the verse asserts, the siring bull, Indra, prefers going with vitality to those who have taken this initial step. Mandalam 1, Suktam 7, Rik 9.
एकश्चर्षणीनाम् वसूनामिरज्यति इन्द्रः पञ्चक्षितीनाम्.
Indra, the one who rules upon wealth of seeing men of 5 habitats. Habitats, inhabitants, and Indra. Classification is one of the primary tools of explorative study, which brings out both the differences and similarities between groups of entities so classified. An exemplar of its usage in contemporary knowledge is the classification of habitats that nurture life upon Earth. Every such exercise is initiated based on a particular perspective and its associated assumptions. In the cited example, habitats are grouped according to climatic conditions, and the perspective is essentially human centric. On this basis, the list of classified habitats are aquatic, desert, forest, grasslands, and tundra. In contrast, habitat division by the ancients was based on a life-centric approach which included habitats of entities that had no material or physical form but were yet considered to be living beings. The deliberated havens of life were Swargaloka, Gandharvaloka, Nagaloka, Patalaloka, and our own Manavaloka. Yet another Vedic classification, with the Earth's surface as the reference, has 7 regions beginning with the Earth's surface and above it, and 7 more below the Earth's surface. The verse in focus declares the denizens of these realms too to be the subjects of Indra, who maintains their environments in equilibrium and assists them to acquire the means of sustenance in adequate measures. Whether or not such beings exist, the message that this notion conveys is that even if they were to be, the notion that they do makes them as important an active element of the scheme of existence as we are. It underscores yet again the oneness of everything in the universe. The qualities and exploits of Indra, as visualized in this verse of the Rigveda, convey us towards experiencing this oneness. Mandalam 1, Suktam 7, Rik 10.
इन्द्रम् वो विश्वतस्परिहवामहे जनेभ्यः अस्माकमस्तु केवलः.
We call to you, Indra, from everywhere. May he be around only for all of us. The center of the universe is at every point within it. Yet another statement of fact masquerading as an invocation. When Indra is defined to be someone in position solely for the benefit of all beings, the imperativeness of its import is inherent. But keeping with interpersonal etiquettes and the ideal of self-abnegation, this mode of stating a fact has been used. Also, imperativeness smacks of arrogance, which has no place in an idea like a sacrifice, hence the usage. It is yet another lesson to be learned from the study of Vedas, apart from understanding the manner of arrangement of the universe, about the transformative activities therein, about its hierarchies, about the assignment of responsibilities and their cooperative execution, about the nature of Indra, and about being selfless in thought and deed. The misdirected recognition of ourselves as being central to all that we perceive, understand, and supposedly acquire seems to be the only hindrance to the quest of consciousness. When the center of deliberation shifts from ourselves to the notion of the Supreme Self, of which we ourselves are a part, the hindrance loses relevance. The solution can be framed in a single sentence, but executing it may take an eternity, unless perhaps if it is ordained differently. A notion that is conferred the sobriquet grace, which can perhaps be seen as one more manifestation of the sincere attempt at renunciation of the ego.